Hello and welcome to the Matt Black podcast. We're up to episode 13. Unlucky for some. So I've got Toby Foster and Steve White here with me. How you doing?
I loved Morgan Freeman. That was amazing.
That's probably the hippest intro you've ever come on to, isn't it?
I just couldn't believe that that was brilliant.
Cost me a fortune, that.
I bet it did. I bet it's quite difficult to come by his own Morgan. You should give me a ring. I'm a lot cheaper than him.
Would it have been as good as that?
No way. No. I've been at it for years. I'm still nowhere near that. But no, that was brilliant. But how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
You're good, thank you.
All
Yeah,
good.
good.
We're all
Yeah.
good. We're all good, mate. Thank you. Loving this little studio you got here. This is great.
Yeah, it's
little
it's
setup.
quite cosy, but it's I've actually shuffled it a little bit since my last episode, so I'm nearer to you. So I've had to make sure I spritz myself.
Quite intimidating.
Yeah.
Intimate.
So how's life, guys? I know that you're busy. You've got a lot on at the minute.
Wentfest is just we're just in the kind of the throes of booking that for next year into whatever it is now, year 7 or year 8. So it was the first year that we moved it this year. We moved down to Kilnhurst, to Hooton Lodge. And it was great. It was good, but I'll never forget when we decided to do a music festival. We phoned a mate of ours up who's done a lot of promoting. And I said to him, "Look, we're doing this music festival. Do you want to come in with it?" And he went, "Right," he says, "I'll just tell you now, drop everything and run away from the music festival." And I said, "Why?" He says, "You'll lose everything. Don't do it." And I thought, well, he's mad. And he wasn't. As it turns out, he was quite right. So it's like this every year. It's not easy, but it's fun.
Yeah,
It's an all year round job. I mean, you're involved with music, you do events and you work on gigs and festivals. Just when you think you might have got a bit of time off, you realise you haven't. You've just got to get straight on and start working towards something else for next year. So it is. It's an all year round job completely. But as I say, enjoyable. It's the reason we're still doing it, because it's not been for financial gain. That's for sure. So far.
No, it's not. No.
So it's a bit mad, but fun.
I'm going to say, like most people I speak to who run music festivals, they'll say like the first 3 to 5 years don't expect to make a penny, but I mean, some have been lucky. You get the odd
we had
unicorn.
COVID in the middle of that
was
as well.
another thing we had. To still be here after COVID when a lot aren't is a success in itself.
Yeah,
it's a really interesting thing. We've said this before, because you get to the day of the festival, and every festival we've put on, Touchwood, has been amazing. We've been incredibly proud of every day that we've put on. But it gets to the festival, and we always stand there on the stage, kind of looking out at everything happen, the last minute's being put together. And you go, well, he's getting paid, she's getting paid, they're all getting paid. They're getting paid. Why are we the only ones not getting paid?
It's coming out of your pocket.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. We're the
only ones skint. But at least everybody's getting paid.
Yeah.
And you see the atmosphere, you see the look on everybody's face at the end, and, right up to that point, you kind of say, we're not going to do another one, we're not going to do another one, we're not going to... Oh, flipping heck, looks like we're doing another one.
I think it's that feeling of when you say you're looking around, you see everyone enjoying yourself, you think, I'm responsible for that, and it's
a great feeling.
I mean, yeah, it's nice to have... It would be nice to have some money, wouldn't it? But at the same time, that's quite rewarding, but, I mean, I'm guessing there's a long-term plan. People don't just tend to unless they run out of money, I suppose. But
yeah, I mean, you probably credited us with more brains than we've got there. I don't know. I don't know that there's a plan.
Maybe there should have been.
I think if we'd had a plan, we might have done something different. There's just kind of, you're like a shark, has to keep moving forward or it dies.
Yeah.
We just have to keep putting festivals on or it all comes collapsing
it's
down.
a bit like that in certain areas of Barnsley, to be honest with you.
I mean, the ideal world thing is, to joke it aside for 1 minute, is to make it a festival that is here forever and is part of the South Yorkshire, the Dearne Valley community. You've got to remember where we are. We are in the middle of the Dearne Valley, essentially, where stuff like the festivals we put on doesn't happen. When would Scout for Girls or Blue or Heather Small, Tony Hadley, when would they perform in the area where we're putting them on? They wouldn't. They'd do city halls, they'd do arenas, they'd do O2 academies. So we're bringing something to that area that wouldn't be there unless we were doing it. So we want it to be there as a long-term thing forever for us, for families and people to enjoy.
Yeah, you're ticking that box for them people that, despite someone doing like a 40-day UK tour, they still complain it's not on their doorstep. So
if you live in the Dearne Valley, I mean, where are we? We're probably 15 minutes from here, where we sat with you now. So it is coming literally to your doorstep.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's an industry that's changing all the time. You know, I mean, when I was a kid growing up, we never went to gigs anyway because you just didn't. I mean, you know, you didn't have the money to be going out to gigs. I mean, and now the price of gigs now, I don't know what we just wouldn't have. So when I was growing up in kind of Bolton and then moved to Wath, I wouldn't have been able to go to something like this. It wasn't on.
Yeah.
And there's no way we'd. I mean, my first actual live gig was as a 15-year-old, in probably 1984, 85, seeing Howard Jones at the City Hall. I went to see Def Leppard at the City Hall when I was driving. I was 17 years old, and it was a £5 for a ticket. And you know, now
Can't get a pint for that now.
No, exactly. but now you're in an industry where you know, God bless them. I'm nothing against them, but people like Taylor Swift go out and just hoover up £1 billion out of the kind of the gig going money from the country. So all of a sudden everybody's struggling. And it's difficult. You've got to really work hard to put something on.
I mean, Oasis is going to hit the industry next year. It's a fantastic reunion. It's great that they're back together, but there will be people who will choose that gig next year instead of going to 2 or 3 smaller festivals that they possibly would have supported otherwise.
Yeah, I thought that when like Eagles said, "Oh, we're going to do a farewell tour," and I thought, well, I love Eagles, and maybe I'll have a look. And I was like, I don't love them that much. £500 a ticket minimum.
Exactly. Yeah,
but that's what it's going to be. Yeah. I mean, you got to be careful because who doesn't want to see Oasis? Really?
Absolutely. I'm first. I'm first in line.
There's a lot. There's so many people kicking off about it, isn't there, on the internet right now? But it's like,
it's just brilliant. It's going to be amazing, but it's going to be a couple £100 for a ticket.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have a load of 50-year-olds trying to get into their old CP company jackets with the goggles on the hoods. They're not going to fit. So they're all going to need a new Stone Island, aren't they? New pair of Sambas.
Get the badge in. Get the badge in.
Precisely. You know, goodness how much they're going
new haircut.
Lump out on coke. It's going to be a fortune. So, you know, if that's going to take £1,000 off everybody, that's going to have that hits on something else.
These Turkish barbers are going to be on their toes, aren't they? Not doing. They don't know what to do other than a skin fade, do they? Like, oh no.
Everybody's growing it out.
That Paul Weller hair. I heard it get referred to as the well end hair the other day.
Saying nothing.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the haircuts, but I have to say I did have What's the Story Morning Glory when I was a kid. It was one of the.
Who didn't?
I think it might have been the first CD I actually owned as an album. Yeah. So like born in '86, so probably I don't know when it came out, like mid-90s.
96.
I mean,
95.
There's an argument really, isn't there? They are certainly among the last rock stars that we've got, and probably never will have now.
Yeah.
And when's the last time an actual band got to number 1 in the country? It just doesn't happen anymore.
No.
Because of the way that we don't fund bands because of streaming, and we don't fund the industry because of streaming. So, you know, the last time that 6 or 7 lads got together and all toured around in splitter vans and got to number 1 and played Wembley was probably them.
Yeah.
And there was a conversation being had earlier today, I saw, about just how many generations Oasis will be spanning as well. There'll be people from 12 years old up to 60, 70 years old.
Well, that's streamed, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely, without a doubt.
Liam did Leeds and Reading.
This weekend,
Reading is famously a festival that's full of kids who've just finished their exams. And they loved him.
Yeah,
and they knew every song because that's one of the benefits of Spotify. You know, the downside is none of them had paid for his house.
No. So they might be ready for a tour.
Yeah.
So, but it's safe to say we've not got Oasis for Wentfest, unfortunately.
They just said they're not playing Glastonbury.
Yeah, they have announced that that's not happening.
They might not, if they're free. They've just got nothing to do.
They want to warm up. They might want a warm-up gig, you know.
You could always get a tribute.
We don't. We don't clash with their gigs. Put it that way. So
no, we don't.
Who knows what we could do? What we could muster up between now and then.
What you should do is that we'd get you in the papers is book Blur.
Now then, on the same night.
A little bit of friendly rivalry.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? It is the same. They're doing Wembley the same night as Tramlines, aren't they?
Are they?
That'd be a Tramlines. That'd be a Tramlines headline, wouldn't it? Blur. That'd be fantastic.
1995 revisited.
They're doing the one that gets me is they're off to Edinburgh. Halfway through the Edinburgh Festival.
Edinburgh Fringe, that's just going to be. I mean, it's mad up there already. Anyway, August.
This year has been the first year I've not been up to the Edinburgh Festival for about 15 years, and this is the first one I've not gone because a hotel for me and my daughter, so a 2-bed Airbnb, was 450 quid a night. It was the cheapest I could get it.
Per night.
They just rack it up, don't they? Because they know that it's
bonkers. It's gone, and now they're putting Oasis have put Murrayfield in halfway through the festival. I mean,
it's going to be like grand for
you
an
have to buy Scotland to have anywhere to live.
Somewhere to sleep for the night.
Yeah.
You got a tent?
Well, they'll all be full. I'd already tried to book hotels for next year for Edinburgh. I was going to go and do it, but I'm not now.
Didn't you do Edinburgh once where you were literally sleeping in kitchens and bathrooms and so? People do that, don't they?
1999, we did a show at the Stand, and we rented a 4-bedroomed flat. And we went 4-bedroom, no, that's all right. And it was 4,000 quid for the month, right? And we got there, and it was 2 bedrooms, a living room, and a kitchen. And each of the rooms had got a bed in it.
So a bed in the kitchen.
It did. I can't remember who. I think it might have been Brendan Riley. I had to have a bed in the kitchen, so you can in the morning have a cup of tea in the morning. Morning, Brendan.
That's Edinburgh, folks.
I once did a tour in 2010 where we stayed somewhere in Swansea above the venue, and they said, "Oh, there's a flat above the venue." When they said there's a flat, there's just a flat. There's nothing else. So we slept on carpets with 3 sleeping bags.
That's it.
Yeah, I've done that.
The life of a touring musician.
I used to have a pub in Barnsley. I used to have the courthouse in Barnsley, and I bought that the season that Barnsley went into the Premier League because I was going to make £1 million.
Another great idea.
Yeah.
I've literally just shared the squad photo of that today.
Really?
Randomly, yeah.
Oh, we sponsored the first programme in the Premier League. Yeah, sponsored by the old courthouse. There's a logo that I did on Windows Paint or something.
98.
Seriously. I literally did it on paint. It's the old courthouse. It's in a circle that's just not quite round. And
You do know it's got circles built into it.
I'd had a drink. And so we had the courthouse, and I had this old MG Metro. Well, it wasn't old at the time, it was MG Metro. And so we bought the courthouse, and the trouble is I forgot that I didn't have anywhere to live. So I came back up here, and we got to and the courthouse didn't have any accommodation, but it did have an office upstairs. But it had a hole in the roof, and at night the pigeons all came down into the office and crapped everywhere. So I had to sleep in my car outside the fire doors. So I got this pub that I just paid 375 grand for, and I was living in a fucking car. And police would come round every night knocking on my door. What are you doing? That's a big pub.
I believe that Wentfest has got no plan now.
The red flags were there.
So I guess a gig once in Brighton, and my mother was away on holiday, and my mother lived at Barnsley. So I thought, I'm not driving down to Brighton. This MG to got all the locks drilled and everything. I was desperate for it to get pinched. So everywhere I went, I used to leave the keys in so somebody would pinch it. Once parked it outside Barnsley Post Office, come back, somebody had nicked the tax.
Just left the car.
Left the car,
Can
nicked the
nick
tax.
the
Cost me 80 quid. So anyway, so I goes to my mother's. My mother's on holiday, and I've got to do this gig in Brighton. And my mum's got a BMW that she'd just got, because my dad had just died. She's ever so mercenary. And so I thought, and obviously she's just off on holiday, Black Widow. So I thought, well, I'm not driving down to Brighton in this MG with its low doors drilled. And at the time, I was living with me, who was now my wife, Nikki. I kind of moved into her house in Mung Bretton. So drives the car over to my mother's, gets the car, drives down Brighton. 2:00 in the morning, there's a knock on the door at Mung Bretton, Pinehall Drive. Nikki goes downstairs, there's 2 coppers stood there. She says, yeah. She says, Nikki Wilde? She says, yeah. She says, Toby Foster live here? She says, he does, yeah. She says, we found his car. She went, what? She
Bollocks!
Yeah. She says, what? He says, it's been stolen. It's been smashed up, but we've found it. She says, where is it? He says, far more close at Barnsley. And she went, well, that's where his mum lives. And it hadn't been abandoned, I just parked it.
That's just the state you leave it in all the time.
It just looked that bad.
It's been nicked and smashed up.
Nobody ever left a car in Barnsley that looked like this. I comes back to get it, to pick it up on the Wednesday, my mum's car, to drop my mum's car so she wouldn't know I've been there. And it's got police aware all over it. So yeah, there's not many plans get made.
You could maybe invest in a motorhome. That would.
Don't.
I had one of them.
Don't.
I did that.
You've just scratched the itch. Don't.
I had a fantastic one. I mean, that's the serious side. I mean, that went to pay for the music festival.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, my youngest daughter's autistic, so when we used to go on holiday, we had this fantastic 6-berth camper van that thankfully had done its job. It took us all around Europe while she was kind of growing up. But yeah, I mean, that's the serious side to music festivals. That got sold 10 grand under value to pay the bill for some lights one festival. And it is as, I mean, that's how, serious music festivals are. This day that we put on, and everybody kind of, they go, oh, you must be making a fortune. This day costs us 140
grand, yeah, easily.
For one day.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't, you got to sell a lot of tickets, really, when you're taking your VAT off.
And you look at things like we've talked about, is there ways of saving money and all this kind of stuff. And there isn't really, if you want to put something on as good as what we put on, is there? It's not one big bill, it's just lots of bills that add up, but you need to pay them to put it on.
Yeah.
You can't really save much off your security bill or off your fencing bill or off your stage and lighting production.
Yeah.
Because you're already getting good value for money for what we pay for it anyway. But you can't do any. You can't do it without any of them.
You can tell when a festival's like scrimped on something because it all starts becoming a shambles and falling apart, and then no one comes back year after.
The toilets is a real. It's become a running joke with us now, hasn't it? The toilets, how much we spend on toilets, but we do that because everybody goes away talking about how great the toilets are. They're clean. They're serviced every 20 minutes. And,
it comes back to me. I mean, this year we're not putting a VIP section on. Because people didn't buy them last year because they said there's no point. The toilets always that clean anyway.
The bar's great. You get served straight away on the bar. There was no real benefits to having a VIP ticket last year, and we're never out to rob people. If you don't, it's not please buy a VIP ticket, please buy a VIP ticket because it's money in our pocket. So if you don't feel we need one, then we won't put one on.
But I think you're right. I think you can always tell when people are cutting corners, and we'd just rather not bother. We'd rather do it properly. And take our time about you build something. If you build something on proper foundations, then at least it's there for a while.
Absolutely.
And all we need now, and we're nearly there. It's just something like what we're doing is, and we're not alone. The Association of Independent Festivals, I'll tell you, 50 festivals went bust last year. And they expect another 50. This year. This year, yeah. And they expect another 50 to go by the end of the year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And people look at us, £45 a ticket. You go, yeah, okay, £9 of that goes straight to the government. It's VAT.
Yeah.
There's so much that you don't understand.
That's really cheap.
Yeah.
For an all-day festival.
Yeah.
Especially for the bands that you've got.
But again, we have to, a massive comedy tent with everybody's off live at the Apollo and what have you. But we have to remember with that, it's that S postcode. We are where we are.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if we start charging, Glastonbury money, people are going to go, well, you've two ways of doing it, haven't you? We could either go as £100 and book whoever you want, and book Kasabian, and run that risk of not run that risk. You have to find the deposits, I suppose. And that's not what we are. We want to do something that everybody can say to people, every year when you come, it'll be like this.
Regardless of who's on, it's not necessarily about who the main act is. It will be people you've heard of. There'll be songs there'll be stuff you can sing along to. But it's more about the experience of the festival and the day itself.
Yeah.
Quite often we get people talking about.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all that happens, isn't it?
Yeah, but talking about and I mean this in the nicest possible way, the cheapest acts that we've paid for.
Yeah.
So it might be one of the tribute bands on that have been on in the afternoon compared to the headliner. They're a lot cheaper.
Let's just use one year as an example because both headline acts ripped it last year. On the Friday night we had Scouting for Girls who were brilliant, and on Saturday night we had Blue who were brilliant. Neither of which, when you start down this kind of road of doing music festivals, neither of which are in any of my playlists, and yet they turn up, they do an amazing job.
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. So no two ways about it. Two purling headliners, absolutely no problems with them. They weren't the best received acts of the day at all. There's a club band from around there called Thor, Gods of Rock.
I know them. Yeah, I used to be in a band with John.
Yeah,
right.
They've been here actually.
Have they?
Yeah.
Took it to pieces.
Literally, an awesome band.
Absolutely ripped
Took it home.
You know.
They're absolutely fantastic. One of the most musical bands I've ever watched. They really know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Such a showman in Lee. Mm. ripped it. They were the ones. What you don't want to do though is just go, okay, well, let's because people have tried that, haven't they? You know, people have tried. Let's just put on the good local bands, and nobody believes you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's really
it's almost like they need to see some of the well-known acts they've heard of just to be enticed in.
Yeah.
To buying the ticket and coming, but then actually when you get there on the day, as I say, as Toby says, as good as the headliners are, sometimes it's the ones lower down the bill that people remember the most.
And I felt for it before, that years and years and years ago, I started promoting comedy at the Lamp Room. And I'm going back to 2001. I was away getting married. I best remember that. So I'd gone to the council and I said, I want to put some comedy on. And they said, well, we'll give you some assistance. Give me a bit of a grant for the first, I think, 3. And I got this completely wrong. I've never made this mistake again when it comes to promoting. So I thought, right, for the first 3, I'll just top load it. First one that we put on was Peter Kay, who played the Lamp Room in 2001. The second act, who was just as big at the time, maybe not so much now, was a Scottish comedian who was brilliant called Phil Kay. The third act was Rob Newman, who again at the time was
massive. Yeah.
So those first 3 just went bang, 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 all sold out. 198 seats, the Lamp Room sold, just sold out. The fourth one is the time when the funding ran out. So I booked a guy called Mitch Ben, absolutely brilliant Mitch, top of his game on the circuit, all now show and all that kind of stuff now, but not at the time. Absolutely brilliant. 80 tickets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just didn't sell. Because, and then I realised that what people are going to go, well, I've heard of him. Oh, they've obviously...
Never heard of him, yeah.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
If I started the other way around with Mitch,
and
then halfway through dropped in a Peter or a Phil, I'd have been much better.
Yeah.
Because you've got to get people to trust your product. And now whenever we launch a comedy night, if you've heard of something, I won't put them on. Just give them the circuit, because the circuit's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same as the musicians. The musicians out there are amazing. Come and watch them first, and then every now and then we'll drop somebody famous.
Really big in,
Yeah.
Totally.
Some of the best stand-up nights I've been to have been people I've never heard of.
Yeah,
anyway,
of course.
I go to like Comedy Store in Manchester.
Yeah.
Is it Frog and Bucket and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't care who's on. I just like we'll just go book an hotel.
And they've all played that, haven't they? All the big ones have played the Frog and Bucket. So every now and again, the Frog will get a big name in.
You get a nice surprise every now and then.
Exactly that. So
Jason Manford collected glasses, I think, with the Frog. I think that was his
is that how he started out?
I mean, the Frog's seen everybody. I mean, Peter Kay, Johnny Vegas was just everybody. The Frog, brilliant club, and the Store, of course, brilliant.
Yeah, there's it's weird. There's so many great acts about, but it's hard because there's so much content going on in the world. It's like you're trying to advertise your festival. I'm trying to advertise my bands and stuff. You post it on the internet. Or if you're a comedian or whatever it is, it's like you're not just battling against other comedians or other festivals. There's just all this crap that everyone's uploading all day.
All the internet's been a big learning curve for us, and to the point we're still learning, and there's lots we don't know. When it comes to actually advertising and promoting gigs.
It's just so much in there. You're just lost in the noise.
Yeah,
you don't know what's cutting through. You don't know what is. So you just kind of got to do it all, in the hope that some of it does.
Yeah.
But,
I found some gems though through. I've like upload reels from this on TikTok and stuff like that, and I found like the odd comedian that I'll just because I love the old school me. I'm not talking like racist ones and stuff like that, but I mean like I like old school comedy. And,
well, you say it's old school. It's kind of coming round again now. Yeah. It's coming, it's coming full circle, isn't it?
But I found somebody, and I'm sure he's from like not far from here, like Scott Bennett. I think
it's Scott.
Yeah, Scott plays the last laugh for us all the time.
Does he?
Yeah.
Nottingham.
Yeah.
I mean, brilliant.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I just found like one clip on TikTok because it would just suggested something similar to what I already watching.
In fact, he played Wentfest this year. He was in the Wentfest comedy stage in June. Yeah, he was there. Yeah. He's fantastic.
I'm just kind of like keeping an eye out for stuff. I saw that he's like in Mexico quite soon, just when I'm on holiday. So I'm like, right, he's on my radar.
Yeah, Scott's brilliant. Well, I think he'll be with us. He'll be with us next year. Yeah, I think I've already booked that. He's brilliant. He's got another a different kind of show coming out next year. I think called Blood Sugar Baby. Which is about finding out that his daughter was very poorly. So it's a much more kind of story-based show for Scott. But my daughter went to see it at the Fringe and just I mean, just a 2-word review, just flipping amazing is what I got. And he's great. And you'll find that. I had one of Jamie Campbell, who's my producer on the radio, sent me this thing from his daughter the other day. So saying on TikTok, just found this new comedian, do anything about him, and it's Justin Morehouse. So
What, recently?
Last week.
All right.
Brilliant.
Last week. And it's Justin. I mean, yeah. But he's new on TikTok, so he's new to her.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the thing. It's the thing I mentioned with.
It's a powerful tool, isn't it?
The things like
At times.
that Liam Gallagher thing. You've got to ask yourself, how are those kids singing his songs? Because they've not heard his dad's. They've not heard the dad's records because nobody's got a record player anymore.
Yeah.
They've come to that themselves by downloading it off the net.
They weren't watching Phoenix Nights.
They weren't.
When it was on, were they? So
They can't now because it's not on anyway.
Yeah.
So how have they got there? And you've got to remember that when Evie texts Jim and says, "I've just found this new comic," Justin Morehouse, to her he is new.
He is new, yeah.
And there's a whole new audience there for him, which he's getting off TikTok, which he's too old for. He should be ashamed of it.
Yeah. There's a lot of bands though, it's getting like a bit of a resurgence from a more like a younger audience and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of a band called Skindred.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
new one of me.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's like they call it like ragga metal. So
Right.
he's like sings in that kind of like a reggae style, but over metal music. It's
Yeah.
really unique and it's high energy. But they've uploaded some videos where perfect for TikTok because it's got like kind of actions that go with the music,
Yeah,
which is
sure,
like a
yeah,
massive
yeah.
thing online, isn't it? at the
Visual
minute?
as well
and
as
they
the
just
audio, yeah.
went massive again, like 20 years
Yeah.
after the first time, you know.
It won't be long now. In fact, I think we're already seeing it at some comedy clubs where the idea of the gig will not be the entrance fee. So currently we run a club at the City Hall every Friday and Saturday night, puts about 200 people in. It's 18 quid a ticket, and that goes to pay the acts, the people who run it, the sound and light, you know. I think once you start to do the sums, and once people like me kind of overcome our natural concern and start putting people into kind of our organisations who are just on the cameras and the computers, I think eventually we'll realise that what we ought to do is let everybody in for nothing,
And just use it as content.
because the content will
put it
outdo
online, yeah.
the entrance fee.
Yeah.
I think. Have you heard of Hot Water Comedy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I went there literally days before the first lockdown. I went for my birthday, and then I noticed that they were like just live. Well, they were basically like live streaming old footage that they'd videoed. To the point where police turned up because they thought they were having a gig on, didn't they? But so many, because everybody was sat at home, bored, scrolling away. They're eating up the content at that time, and people got famous for it.
I do think that they are doing. I don't think that you pay to get into them early parts of the week.
We went midweek because we gig at weekends anyway, so we went midweek, and it was free to get in, and then obviously you just pay for your drinks.
They just want you to laugh. They want to pick you up laughing on the camera, and that's it.
I mean, it's a tiny place. You are
It's not
literally.
now.
They moved.
Oh, they moved.
Yeah, it's moved now.
Has it moved? Right.
We've got one. I think it's 3 rooms. One of them's 6,500 seats.
All right.
The
Well,
other one's 3,500.
became quite popular 2020. Didn't it?
Yeah. Well, you see, they
It
were
was an interesting time, that. Yeah.
They were brilliant. I've never met them actually. The Blair brothers, and they got in there, and it was really interesting because promoters are stupid, aren't they? None of us know what we're doing.
We'll establish that.
Yeah. So it used to be if you put a gig on, you put it in the Guardian Guide, and if it's in the Guardian Guide, somebody would come and watch it. And then the papers would say, well, what you need to do is you need to put an advert in the paper. And we go, how much is that? And they go, 50 quid. And we go, fucking hell. So you'd send them 50 quid. And then Zuckerberg invented Facebook and said, I'll do that for nothing. And we went, here we go, dickhead. It's nothing over here. And we all went over there, and the papers all went bust. And then Zuckerberg went, right, now it's a load of money.
Yeah.
And we went, hey. So now you're trying to cut through. So at the time, the Blair brothers, as I say, I don't know. I mustn't pretend I do. But they started this Hot Water Comedy Club, and all of a sudden they've got obviously 3 or 4 cameras up, and their logo behind everybody, and all of a sudden every comedian's got something online. And promoters, we're just still as stupid. So what we all did, we went, look at that. these idiots are providing us with show reels. So if somebody's going to come to my gig and see Justin Morehouse, I'll just go look at this picture of Justin Morehouse, and it says hot water behind him.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to promote that, and everybody else is doing the same.
Yeah.
So we're all promoting their brand. Like I say, fair play to them.
They've done it well. They've done it right.
I don't have an inch of a problem with it. But they just knew exactly what they were doing. And they've done a fantastic job. And they've done a fantastic job also with Paul Smith, of course, who from nowhere, brilliantly, is doing arenas. And they put proper, this is the thing. This is why nobody minds them, I suppose. This is why everybody's happy for them. Because they put proper acts on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, they're not taking a mick.
No, not at all.
They're not filling the bar.
They're quality comedians.
You know, there are nights out there where people put, charge you 15 quid and put rubbish on. These lads are doing a proper job.
Yeah.
But the whole world's changing, and
social media is a big part of it.
Yeah, massive.
Absolutely.
I thought it was going to go that way because they started charging to live stream concerts, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I thought, oh no, is that going to be a real a long term thing? But thankfully, it wasn't the case because
it was a cool
it's nice to
thing,
watch it like a DVD, but it's not the same as being there.
They've got you, don't they? I mean, Facebook's got you.
Oh yeah.
Or whoever's this year, whoever's in charge this year has got you, because TikTok is apparently now the thing that's making people. But once they start telling you that it's 50 quid to stream something, 100 quid to...
Yeah, they do charge to advertise if you want to.
Yeah.
You can post stuff and hit and miss if algorithm picks you up, and you might get 10 views, you might get 10,000 views, and sometimes it's not even consistent. You think, well, I'll post something like that again because that went well.
Yeah. And I've spent hours editing this. This is going to get loads of views and gets nothing. Upload a picture of a cat and 10,000. Yeah.
We do that. We'll record a music video, lots of effort, lots of people involved, lots of thought gone into it, and it'll get so many thousand views. Then I'll put a video at dog head butting a pillow on. And it's had 4 times more.
Yeah, exactly.
Cannon Hall Farm. Everybody watches Cannon Hall Farm.
Yeah, they've done it brilliant.
I mean, because every time a Shire horse drops a foal out, the whole world, look at this. You think, I ain't got one of them.
Isn't this brilliant?
If I got a Shire horse, I'd be all right.
See, if you'd have not sold that motorhome, you could have traded it in.
Move on. What's next on your script?
I did actually, because I was quite curious. I wanted to know how you met each other, how that came about, and then how the actual idea of Wentfest come about.
Well, it was working at Radio Sheffield, to be fair, where we first kind of met. Probably knew of each other before, but I started working in 2007 there. You were there 2002.
2002, yeah.
You just moved on to breakfast when I started, and I was doing the show before, the early breakfast. So that's so we were kind of seeing each other every morning then, and we only lived about 5 minutes away from each other then as well. So, that's where it all kind of started, really.
What it was, we went to Silverstone.
For the festival. This is where the festival began. In that motor.
In a camper van.
That very same motor. He's done it again.
It's not my fault this time.
I thought we'd get a run out. I bought a new barbecue.
Do you remember it was the same time?
Memories.
Tell you what, if you've got a block back there with my camper van.
Surprise.
Yeah.
He's here tonight.
He's not seen it for 5 years.
He only paid 20 grand for it. He got away with murder.
It was the night Arctic Monkeys were playing Glastonbury. Well, it was the weekend. Arctic Monkeys were playing Glastonbury. Because remember, we watched them in the camper
He was there for no.
on the Friday night. Yeah.
Alex Chuffington. So we've gone down, and we was on the Saturday we go to watch the qualifying. And then we worked out what we'd not really sussed out, which is you can take beer anywhere you want in Silverstone. So you can just buy loads of beer and just take it around and drink it, which was perfect for us. So we got this big crate of beer thing in a trolley. And we just wheeled it down so we find somewhere to sit, just get drunk. And we got down, there's a massive stage up. We just said, okay, brilliant, so let's see what happens here. We sat down and Billy Ocean comes on. I thought, this is all right. And then it did an hour and a half. just all killer, no filler. Boom, boom, boom.
Just brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant.
And 8 cans of Stella in, somebody said we ought to put this on at Wentworth.
we've got a space up near where we live.
So this would go right nice guy Wentworth. What else this?
That stage would look perfect.
And that was it.
That was how it started.
So then you went to see Wentworth.
We went to see them, yeah. This was before it had got sold to the Preservation Trust.
Yeah, well, somebody told us that we could have it for an amount of money that turned out not to be true.
Well, no, we did. We got it for the first year. That's why we did it. So it was privately owned at the time, and we only wanted to borrow the lawn. So they quoted us hundreds rather than thousands. So we were like, all right, well, let's do it then.
It went up before we paid for it.
I don't think he did. I think he went up for year 2. But anyway, so it's partly their fault as well. The old owners. It's everybody's fault but ours. So yeah, I went to see them. We agreed the price. We agreed the date, and it just and then I mean we did then bring the team together. We can't ignore the team because it's the same team that we work with now, and we really do work with the best in the business because they know a lot more than we do. Quite true.
To be fair, that plant knows more than we do.
So our health and safety guy, he's a guy called Guy, actually. He was head of health and safety at Don Valley Stadium, so he's looked after gigs like Michael Jackson, U2, Def Leppard, Tina Turner. He works all over the world on big sporting events. He's worked on Olympics. He's doing a lot of the big arena gigs. He'll be doing the Oasis gigs next year. He's booked for that. So he's the best in the business when it comes to that. We brought in Julie Wilson, who looks after all of our food, drink concessions. She does big things like Sheffield Food Fair, Sheffield Christmas Market. She's part of the team that brings World Snooker to Sheffield every year. So, Limelight, who do stage and lighting productions, they're a Sheffield company, but they do arenas and city halls. So, we brought the best in.
You're in good hands, then.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the only way to be it, because at some point you can end up in court. So, we thought if we're going to end up in court...
Well, that's not happened yet.
No, well... not yet. So we thought we might as well, if we know that every I is dotted and every T is crossed.
Absolutely.
Then, that's the safest way. So, off the back of the team, we've been asked to organise other festivals. We've been brought in to run other festivals for people. We do
not
that.
Stressed enough.
Yeah, well, that's a lot easier.
It's actually a little bit more fun.
It's not your own checkbook, is it?
Because it's someone else paying the money. All they want you to do is organise it, and we're quite happy to bring that experience. No problem at all.
We've done that a couple of times, and that's fun.
Yeah.
I nearly died.
Which one was that?
Pecan. With that flipping van. Because I used to have this camper van.
Again.
Because my camper van went, and I'd forgotten. It gets to 2 nights before we run in this festival for Thornbridge Brewery. Doing all the entertainment and everything. And I just in my head thought I'd just take the van down. And then 2 days before, my wife went, "What van?" Oh, yeah, Christ. So I went out and I hired a transit van. Because I couldn't find a camper van to hire, so I hired a transit van, and I thought, this is easy. I'll just put a bed, to get a double bed, and put it in the back of the transit van. Well, I ran out of time. So I ended up just sleeping on the floor bed.
Wooden floor.
And this transit van, with a plaster had obviously had before me. And I was just covered in plaster dust and shit. And well, I ended up in hospital with COPD. I got on my chest. And we're really not cut out for this. Not at all.
Enjoy watching from the stage, but everything else, it's.
I think that's the best part, isn't it? Because all that hard work and all that stress, once it's actually happening, you can kind of, I don't know, because I've done smaller events. It tends to kind of your blood pressure goes down a little bit because things are going all right for 5-10 minutes. You're like, oh, I can just enjoy this.
I have not seen one act in 6 years.
Oh, really?
No. I was doing the car parking.
You were doing car parking this time.
I was doing the car
looking for his motorhome.
Checking. There's just stuff to do. There's no demarcation lines when you're at a festival. Yeah. You're there. So last year, I was the one in the Ivies parking everybody up. And then it gets to when you finished for the first night at 12 o'clock. And of course we've got this stage and all these generators and we're in the middle of Kilnhurst. And everyone's like, night. And we suddenly went, who's stopping people nicking all this stuff? And that'd be me then. So I slept in my car.
Again.
Yeah. I slept in my car. I've got a nicer car than I had a van. But I slept in my car until 6 o'clock in the morning, until security came back on. There's nowhere to hide. When you're running a festival, you just do everything.
Muck in, yeah.
So the day of the festival, you pick up a radio, put on IBIS, and then everybody shouts at you. It's brilliant. I have no idea how we do it.
Yeah, you can't. People can't say that you've not like bled for your art.
And we'll be doing it all again Saturday the 14th of June, 2025. Back down to 1 day. We did go to 2 days this year, which we preferred one. The feedback we got from people was they preferred the 1 day festival, so that's what we've gone back to do. That was always our thing anyway. We tried the 2-nighter just to see if it was more popular, but the 1 day one has been. So back to 1 day. 14th of June, 2025. I mean, just come and watch us nearly have a heart attack, if nothing else. It's,
He's not told you why we've gone back to 1 day.
Why?
This is right. So the festival, our festival, is a slightly older demographic.
Well, I said the 1 day proved more popular. I just didn't say why.
It's knees and back,
okay.
innit?
I'm
I'm 38. I'm with you on that.
It's
You know?
exactly
That's
that.
exactly what it is, Matt. That's
Exactly.
Go on, you explain
So
what
we
happened.
thought we'll do two. We'll put it on Friday night. It's Sky for Girls. Boom.
They were brilliant.
We're brilliant. Everybody came on
You
the
ever seen
Friday.
them? Have you ever seen
I've never seen them live. No.
They're really good.
You will be blown away.
They're really good because they know exactly how to play a festival. They turn up, they play the 4 or 5 massive ones that they've had, and then a load of covers. And they just play whatever you want them to play, they'll play. Really nice. And the hits are big.
They're well known.
They're big hits.
Yeah.
But they'll also go to everybody else in the crowd. As opposed to just here's our third album that we've not released yet.
Because it's going to go flat at a festival, isn't it?
Oh, just
totally, yeah.
So we did the first night. That was brilliant. Second day, it looked a bit overcast, and obviously, everybody, our punters are people in their 40s who are bringing the kids, and they all looked at the overcast and just thought, "We had a skinful last night. I'm going about 3." And we were just, for the first time ever during the day, we weren't busy because everybody was just sleeping off last night. So we just thought, "I sod that. One big day, bushka."
What you need to do is have like day 1 on Saturday and then day 2 about 3 days later when everyone's recovered.
The following week.
That's like average time, isn't it?
Following
now
week.
Before you think, actually, you know what? I know I said I wasn't going to drink again, but
and you know it's happened because we're talking about Oasis, but all my mates, anybody I've spoken to for the last year, if you said to them Oasis are getting back together, they'll be like, "Come on, let's go, come on."
Now the reality.
Now,
I bet someone's not been home yet, to be fair.
Well, some of them now,
15 years.
on the phone to me, like, "Are you going to go to it?" Well,
It's a bit far.
car parking's a long way
They're not
away.
in Sheffield.
Oh, Geordie's got swimming lessons.
Yeah,
Like,
precisely.
Do you know what? I'll wait. I'll wait. See if it's going to be on telly.
All these lads are really, I live forever.
All right.
I live till 8:45, maybe 9.
What was it you said to me? I'll see whether they do a nice little gig in Spain or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I was waiting for the abroad one.
For the European tour now. They'll book a weekend away and just see them as part of it. Yeah.
Nip off there.
So that's the story so far.
Very good. It's most people when they've like had a few beers and stuff, they'll just sit in the kitchen and kind of go, "Oh, we should start a business together." And it's normally something that could never happen, and they don't bother attempting it or remember talking about it. But you've actually put it into practice.
Every single detail.
Yeah,
This is the trouble. I mean, because my brother was involved as well at the time, and like, I mean, he wasn't part of that, but it was a, and my brother had some stupid ideas.
He'll be watching this.
And you know, we've
Notice Matt, he said that, not me.
I think, you know, I last had a job in 1997, an actual kind of job. So everything else has been something, well, I'll put this on, or I'll do that, or I'll do some jokes, I mean, the radio came along and stuck. But apart from that, a lot of it's kind of been I've been self-employed since I was 26. And yeah, we do that. My brother once decided that he used to go horse riding. And he didn't like the helmets that they wore, so he thought, well, what looks cool on a horse?
Why have I never heard this story?
Have you not?
No. It's just, I thought I'd heard everything.
No, I'm you're joking. He said, what looks cool on a horse? Cowboys. Cowboys look cool on a horse. And of course, cowboys have got big hats. So he thought, what I'll do is I'll make some hats that go over riding helmets. So it looks like you've got a
cowboy hat on.
Cowboy hat on.
it's like you've got a massive head.
But this is the problem. he'd not factored in the helmet. So he starts making the measurements.
People just hanging off.
Yeah,
Weight.
that's
of
what
it.
it looked like. And then because of being Matt, instead of just thinking, I'll make one of these and see what he does all the measurements and orders 500 from India. Or some bloke he met on the internet. So 500 of these bloody great Stetsons turned up.
Horse riding.
People
helmet
put them on the
Stetsons.
road. Well, he got a massive fucking head. It was like, it's like some kind of alternative Weeble. And everybody's looking at this thinking, I'm not going to get me a balloon head. I'm not having one of them. So when he moved out of that house, he just left 400.
I was just going to say they're going to be in one of his garages somewhere now, aren't they? They're going to
He bought, buying them was really interesting. Buying them was really interesting. He bought them off some bloke in India who says, not only that, he says, I can also make wipe clean leather sheets. And he's like, can we just do the hats?
Stop that right there.
Just do the hats.
There must be a link with chaps in there. I think.
But he's done a lot. I mean,
They'll be in the same garage as Thunderbird 1 and the massive walking robot. And
So we did the festival.
yeah.
And he just comes on one day. He says, I've got this thing. What thing? Thunderbird 1. And he'd been able to spend a
He was
fortune.
going to do it. We were gonna, in the what was the soapbox challenge or something, wasn't it?
Oh,
the
yeah.
idea was to kind of badge it up as Wentworth Festival and a bit of
Well,
promotion.
like the Red Bull type thing. Or...
Yeah.
There was one in
Yeah.
Clifton Park, and it was roundabout.
Yeah.
So there was like this soapbox challenge. So we said, we'll do the soapbox challenge. And we said, we'll just have to make a soapbox. Young goes, I think I've just odd that. Straight to eBay. Spends £1,000
And I thought, yeah.
on this 3-wheel Thunderbird 1.
Wentworth Festival sticker stuck on it.
So he goes down, picks it up, he parks it in the car park of the pub in Wentworth.
Yeah.
And I went out and looked and said, that's brilliant, that's really good. That says, have you read the rules
for soapbox
about a
challenge.
soapbox challenge? He went, no, why? I went, it's got to have 4 wheels.
We've got this 3-wheeled Thunderbird 1.
Just screwing one outside that's not touching floor.
See, it's like he knows it.
Has he been on this podcast? Has he been on here?
That was the suggestion.
All right.
We'll just screw a false wheel. False wheel. That one's in the middle. So he's like, if you don't like that, you're not going to like this. And we goes in his office, and he bought a 9-foot robot suit, which walks around on plaster and stilts. And it was this massive robot. And we're like, what do we do with that? And
Certainly me and him weren't getting in it. So
he says, well, we just had flyers out. So when it went with Garden Centre, he put this thing on. Well, a fucking strong wind comes up, didn't it? And that was him. Twaticus or whatever it's called. Flying down the car park. Yeah, honestly. So that got sold.
It's going to get some attention, though, isn't it? It's like,
Oh, he
some
got that.
attention,
Oh, he
yeah.
got that. Yeah.
Yeah, they took our 3 Range Rover Sports.
He took Thunderbird 1 out.
So, I don't know what happened to any of them.
No, they'll still be. They'll say he moves house and just leaves them in garages.
Buries them.
When
I
he's-
bet they are in there. I bet they're
They'll still be in
garage.
that garage in the house that he lived in at
Yeah.
the time. So we've tried many ways of marketing this festival, as you can see over the years.
so your brother's not doing health and safety then, no?
Oh, no, just sitting for a year. He could still be in the garage, sat there in his robot. So let me out. We're not entirely sure where he is.
We love you, Matt. We love you.
But it was just mental. It was mental. He was in charge of. I've told you. He was when we had the courthouse. Matt was in charge of marketing.
Yes. Is this why he ended up with a logo done on Microsoft Paint?
No, that was me. That was me. He did 2 things. He was in charge of marketing. Oh, go on, what am I thinking of? The perfume, one, CK1.
CK1.
Calvin Klein 1. So he did this mock-up of a flyer, a nice flyer, but instead of CK1, it was CH1.
Courthouse 1, yeah.
Courthouse 1, and he was handing it out. And that went really well until 3 days in. Calvin Klein rang us
Came
up.
knocking on.
Did you turn that in, lass?
Excuse me.
That's really not allowed. Which, to be fair to him, who knew that was going to happen? And then he came up with another idea.
Is this the vodka?
vodka.
Yeah. God, this is, yeah.
We've been down at his house. He lived at the time in somewhere down south. I don't know, Rochester, somewhere like that. And we've been in this bar, and they were doing Snickers flavoured vodka and
Skittles and all that
Skittles,
kind
all
of
this
stuff.
kind of
Yeah,
vodka.
fruit pastels. Yeah.
So we're back up at the courthouse and we're trying to work out how to get some people in because there were just me, him, and Kipper Jackson. And he says, we ought to do some flavoured vodkas. I said, yeah, go on, do some flavoured vodkas. So he did Yorkshire pudding flavour and black pudding flavour.
We're in Barnsley.
And he did black pudding flavour by putting raw black pudding in the vodka and zhuzhing it up.
The vodka black pudding.
So we put this stuff behind the bar and he phones people up to get them in. Radio Sheffield came in and lo and behold, Daily Star comes in. And they put this nude lass on the bar. And of course, she's just coming to Barnsley. Her clothes have fallen off and she thinks, well, I must have a glass of vodka. So she's there with this black pudding flavoured vodka covering her nipples. And there's the photograph in the Daily Star the next day. The day after is when the Trading Standards Department came in and asked us about selling raw blood
In vodka.
in vodka. Have you thought that through? I said, what? He said, in blood products. In vodka.
Nobody dies. Well, that we,
Nobody had one.
that we know of.
So
did you, I was going to say, did you try it?
No, nobody had
Never
one.
tried.
You're a health hazard and your logo shit.
Yes.
We had to store that as well.
Oh, the courthouse.
I think I've only ever been in it once. When did you own that?
Oh, no, what was it, 97, 98?
98, yeah.
98.
Just
Oh
for the
no, I
year.
was,
Yeah,
I was
years
still at school.
It
Then.
was, I mean, it was when we bought it, it was a proper football pub. I mean, it was bad. The police opposed the licence and everything. So when we went in, the police were opposed the licence and we talked to them. And we ran it nice, but we were ready for a year. And then we moved it on to Wetherspoons. So we became a Wetherspoons. We'd flogged it to them for what we owned on it. Really, it was a tough ask. I mean, but that was just after my dad had died, and I'd come back from I lived in Oxford. I lived down south somewhere. A mate of ours came into it with us, so it was just a kind of a resettle year after my dad died, I think, and just a first of a series of ridiculous employment attempts. But that's what we started. That's where I started doing stand up, and then we kind of called it the Comedy Shop. And I mean, Peter Kay played it. I mean,
Peter Kay played Barnsley, yeah.
Johnny Vegas, everybody played it.
Is that how you met him then?
Peter, no, with him. So whilst I was doing that, it was over at the Frog and Bucket.
Right.
It was in the Frog and Bucket in the Manchester Comedy Festival, and they used to do a thing called Raw, which was their open mic night. And they phoned us up and said, we're doing this night called Raw of the Roses, so can you get some open mics from Yorkshire, bring them over. And we'll put some open mics on from Lancashire. So, all right. So we went over and Roger Monkhouse compared for Yorkshire. And this lad who we'd never heard of, Peter Kay, compared for Lancashire. And we were in a bus and there was me, Roger, Mark Jackson, Criminal Waste of Talent, Big Jeff.
Jeff Platts, yeah.
Jeff Platts. Jez, his brother, Jester. We were on this minibus. And coming back, all we talked about was Peter. It'd just been amazing. So I got this club in Barnsley, so I phoned up the next day. I've got his mum and booked him to his mum. And he came and he did us. And then we just started knocking around. When I went over to Manchester, I'd see him, and he didn't do a lot. Well, he wasn't long on the circuit before he went on to and did the Avalon University tour, supporting Adam Bloom. And then whenever I got to Manchester, I'd see him. And then we put a night on at the Fealty and Firkin, the White Bear, upstairs. And it was me compare, Mark Jackson open, Peter Kay closed. £3 a ticket, we did 36 tickets.
To see Peter Kay above the White Bear.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And he did it. It was great. And he says to me, he says, walk back to my car with me. So I come out and walk back to his car. He says, listen, we're doing this thing, Channel 4 wants to do this thing called, it's called Peter Kay. No, Comedy Lab. It's called Comedy Lab. And we're doing this thing called The Services. If that comes off, I think I might have got something. So I says, okay, so would you want to be in it? I said, yeah, go on then. And I went back in, I went, reckons he's got something on telly. Anyway, he did. So he did that Peter Kay thing, and we did the club. And that was great. And then Channel 4 phoned him and said, we like the club, can you do a series? And that was just for 2 series then. So that was kind of 2000. So I'd started gigging in '97, so I'd only done stand-up for like 3 years from standing up. I entered the Hoopers Hooch Award in 1998, the New Comedy Award. 2 years later, we're making Phoenix Nights. It was just crackers. And none of us had a clue what we were doing. We were all stand-ups, but only just really. No actors. Dave Spikey was a very much more accomplished stand-up actor. He was doing jonglers at the time. And it was great. It was brilliant. And we did 2 series. And then Max and Paddy.
I did the Phoenix Nights DVD like back to back so many times back then.
You're lucky to have a copy.
Yeah, you
can't get it.
I don't know where it is now.
Yeah,
actually, we've got so many because you don't think that DVDs are going to be worth anything, do you? After a while, you just think, oh, it'll probably be somewhere. And now, like, there's so many things I've let go, or I wish I'd still got.
Yeah, I know. Before we knew each other, I remember
I've
watching.
even got one on wall up there.
That, my friend, is a broom-handled Mauser.
Look at that. Yeah. That Smug.
No, Paddy.
It was
Max.
Yeah,
Max,
no,
but
it was
somebody told me they spelt it wrong. And I says, no, it's spelt how he's saying it. This was somebody on Facebook from not in this area.
But he shot his brother, didn't he? His brother was that.
Can't believe he shot my brother.
I've got to be honest. Who's watched Max and Paddy?
No, it was in Phoenix Nights. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it's Smug. I'm pretty sure it's Smug.
When was the last time you sat and watched that?
Oh no, never.
Did you not watch it? Like the final thing when it was done?
Nah.
I don't know. A lot of people say this. That I can't watch myself.
I think I probably watched series 1. I've never watched series 2. Never.
It were series 2, that one, because that's when they thought they got a hitman after him.
That
got
was
oven trays down the top.
Yeah, it's just a bit weird. I mean, you've done it, haven't you?
It's a job, and you move on, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. You don't like. Nobody likes the look of themselves on telly, the sound of themselves on telly.
They don't like listening to their own answer phone message, do they?
No. And it was. I can't even remember when it was on, but I'm guessing I'd have been out gigging them because obviously gigging went crackers.
Yeah.
So I'd have been out, and that was it. So I've never seen it really. I've certainly never seen Max and Paddy, and. We just did it and it was good, and we were lucky because series 2, I think, became the biggest selling DVD.
I think that prompted a lot to then go back and watch series 1.
They sent them out to buy the DVD, so we did all right on the DVD. We were lucky we had a good tickle off that DVD, and then it stopped obviously. So it kind of came and it went, and we didn't know if we were going to do another. We thought we were going to do another series. And there's always been talk about, will there be another series, which I don't think there will. Is there going to be a film and all this? Peter pops up every 2 or 3 years and goes, oh, there might be a film.
I might have written one.
And, that's the... if there's going to be anything, there'd be that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
And then it was years later, really, that he phoned up and asked us about the live, if he wanted to do a live show. And he phoned up, it was in 2015 I think we did it, he phoned up and says, look, I want to do a big live show, Phoenix Nights. And I went, yeah, okay, yeah, brilliant. He says, we'll announce 2, but we'd put 12 in. Just announce 2 and we'll see how it goes by. And we're like, yeah, brilliant. And then and it's all for charity, and we went, oh, fuck that. It's what? No, come on. So it turns out it was for comic relief. We're like, we've all got mortgages. And it raised £5.5 million. I mean, it was just amazing. And that was really good. That was probably the best fortnight, 3 weeks, genuinely, of my actual life, kind of working. Because it was all 10, 12 years after Phoenix Nights. Everything had settled down a bit. We were all 27, 28 when we did Phoenix Nights, and apart from Archie was 112. So we were all like kind of banging his heads off each other and egos and just starting to be stand-ups and trying to be funny and all this kind of stuff. Getting on each other's nerves. And of course, 15 years later, it's all a bit older. Everybody's got kids. Everybody's got the house they want or whatever. Or it was just a lot more settled. So we ended up there's a rehearsal facility not far from here where they rehearse all the arena shows. which we're not allowed to say what it is, just in case people turn up and get big.
I've heard about this
Kylie and
because
people,
there's an electrician that did some work for me who said to me that he'd worked somewhere, and he said, I can't tell you where it is, I've been sworn to secrecy. He says, but I was mind blown.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's 10 minutes away. And it's the week before we were in, Robbie was in it, and the week before that, Kylie was in it. Madonna's been in, everybody. And you turn up and it's literally, it's like an arena floor there. And then there's the first floor, which is a dance studio. And 12 bedrooms, restaurants, everything. Because at the time I was fronting Inside Out for BBC One. And I said to him, I said, this will make a fantastic Inside Out, you know, just to show people what's here. And they're all like, yeah, no. That's literally exactly not what we want.
What we don't want.
Oh, got you, yeah. That's a bad thing.
Put this place
To tell
on the map.
people.
Oh, could you imagine
It's incredible.
the crazy people that would turn up?
Yeah. I mean, it's fucking South Hempsel. To be fair. They're not that
It's
far,
not
is it?
in South Hempsel.
They're fairly crazy as it is. So we just all turned up there one day, and everybody's just, and it's all of us who just all sat around in a room for the first time in like 12 years, and it was just really, really good. And just everybody got on. Everybody had a great time. We moved it to the arena. We did 17 nights in front of 15,000 people a night. It wasn't with that. I mean, Ted Robbins had a heart attack on night one.
Opening night, wasn't it?
Night one. That was a nightmare, which we got through. But it was just brilliant. It was just the best time. Everybody got on. It was brilliant. And like every night, so you start at the beginning of the show. There was me, Edgy, and Neil Fitzmaurice, who plays Rave On. And we were the first three on every night. And so you sat there with Wings looking at it, and it's like, you've seen big rooms, haven't you? I mean, this is massive. And here we go. And this really didn't, you know, Paddy was on every night, obviously. But Paddy wasn't on until the second half towards the end. But the atmosphere was that good on the set that apart from the two nights that Bolton were playing, Paddy was there for the start of the show every night. Just stood next to us and go on, lads, clapping us on every night. It was just that kind of vibe. It was fantastic.
Camaraderie, kind of the back
Really,
again.
really good. Really, really good.
You don't feel like work though, then, does it? When it's that enjoyable. It's
It didn't feel like work because we weren't getting paid.
Oh well, yeah. There's
I mean,
that.
let's not forget.
And you weren't
definitely
really
don't feel
playing
like
the
work.
drums, let's remember
Let's
that.
not forget that. But no, it didn't feel like work. We'd have done it.
You can play drums though, can't you? Because when I watched you, I was like, I'm thinking, obviously it's going to be like dubbed over, but I thought it looks like he's playing them because I'd only just recently discovered. I've seen that you'd like done some stuff on stage and things like that. You used to be in Heavily Pregnant, Bruce.
Yeah, it used to be them,
Yeah, and I didn't know that because they play like up at Birdwell like regularly, and then I had no idea that you were part of that.
Yeah, I mean, I was back when they started. I mean, when we first started with the Everleys, we were doing City Hall and Lyceum and stuff like that. It was brilliant. There were 7 of us at the time, and it's all changed now. They've got electric instruments in there, and drums and stuff. So I've done that with the drums now. I can, you know, I can hold a 4/4. I play bass in a band. I played bass all my life, but we got into a bit of trouble because when we done the interview, the what's it called, the audition for Phoenix Nights, and they said, "Can you play drums?" And I went, "Yeah, like Cozy Powell, me, you should see." I guess the first day on set, and Steve Edge is playing the keyboards, and they've got it playing out through these loudspeakers because they've done it for him.
Was he really playing the keyboard?
No, it's just all been done by Tony. And then they says, "Right, Toby, you just play the drums along to that." I went, "You what?" He says, "Yeah, you just play along to that." I said, "I can't play the drums." And the director, Johnny Campbell, he says, "You said you played like Cozy Powell." I went, "He's fucking dead." I was joking.
I play them as good as he plays them now.
I played the drums like a dead man. And they looked at me like I was kidding. And I was like, "Oh." And like I said, this is day one. I mean, we had no idea about filming.
Looking for lessons in
how
Yellow Pages
expensive
quick.
it can be.
Am I getting sacked? You know what? And we had to stop filming for a day while they put some drum tracks down. And I just didn't know. Didn't have a clue. So I can look like I'm
And was it all filmed within that club, or were the interior scenes filmed in that club?
Series 1, we had the Pennine Suite was over at Granada.
Right, okay, yeah.
Series 2, I think run out of money or whatever, I don't know, but everything was then back in St Gregory's.
So it was, was the interiors are the actual interiors of the club?
Everything. So we had to do Phoenix Nights whilst the club was running, which is just incredible because TV, people who do TV, they think they're in charge of the world. There is nothing as egotistical.
So the punters that go to clubs, to be fair.
But precisely,
Never the
That's
twain.
our table, that.
Never the
Move
twain
that camera.
shall meet, normally.
We in one day, we had Tim Healy's. Tim Healy was in front of this racist band. So we got him up on stage singing all these racist songs. And in the next room, there's a funeral.
Oh, God.
So every time Tim had to sing his racist song, we had to shut everybody up. So they had to run it in the funeral on the radio. And so the radio through to him, right, we're turning. And he'd shout at the funeral, right, quiet, please. And stop people crying.
Couldn't have another minute silence.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's been 45 minutes.
Can you just stop crying while Tim Healy is racist on that stage, please? It was bonkers. And then, so
It's the world of television.
It's got to have cheered them up, surely.
I mean, Bolton loved that we were doing it because obviously Peter, they love Peter. And then there was one, I can't remember if it's Max and Paddy or if it's Series 2. It might be Series 2, where we all end up naked, getting hosed down with some.
It's Max and Paddy, I think.
Is that Max and
I think
Paddy?
it is, yeah, I think it is.
So we're all naked, and we have to be hosed down with what actually was Angel Delight. But apparently there's been some outbreak at the club, so we have to be all stripped off and hosed down by people in hazmats.
Obviously the club, then, yeah, it'd be Series 2 then, yeah. Yeah, it'd be Phoenix Nights. If it was outside the club, yeah.
So, and they said to us, you got to be naked. And we're like, okay. But it's outside. I'm like, yeah, but we're going to film it at like 2 a.m, so there'll be nobody there. Well, most of Bolton didn't have jobs at the time. I didn't bother what time it was. They got barbecues and that. People sat there.
Yeah, carrier bags rustling.
Yeah, just sat watching these lads from Phoenix Nights naked. And they tried to preserve our modesty with cricket boxes, but it didn't work. So we just stood there. We were in these dressing gowns. Dressing gowns come off. You all got sprayed down. And starts walking off. And they put your dressing gown, everybody's shut your face. And anyway, so we're all covered in this Angel Delight. And they put us in this bus and they took us back to a hotel called the Pack Horse in Bolton. And I don't know, am I remembering this? It's got communal showers, I don't know why.
In a hotel?
Maybe it's just me and Edgy.
Just put you two in the same
It's
one.
got communal showers. and so I just remember stood in the shower, we turned the showers on, and water came out for like a second and then just stopped. And they went, oh yeah, the water's been cut off. All this Angel Delight
all over you.
Yeah.
It's not going to smell nice as well, is it, that?
So we just sat at the bar naked in his dressing gown, drinking all night till the water came back on. But no, it was good. It was brilliant. I mean, it was, and at the end of the day, everybody who was in it had a
Career
got something out of it. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Is that your worst TV experience then?
I think so.
You nearly killed Lulu.
I did nearly kill Lulu.
Yeah, you can't just carry on from there.
No.
I got my mate Root with me. I was doing a warm up at Oxford Road in Manchester for Steps into Summer. So Steps are doing this summer spectacular, and so there's like this big studio at Oxford Road. So there's like 2,000 kids in it, and I'm doing the warm up. So all I've got to do is go out there and keep these kids laughing and remember not to swear. And that's all okay. And Steps were on it. We're really nice people, and everything's nice. And Lionel Richie was on, who's the loveliest bloke ever. It turns out, I had no idea. I'm just the warm up kid. And at the end of the filming, he came, knocks on my dressing room door. Lionel walks in with his mate.
Hello.
Is it me?
I said, don't you dare.
You that noisy bloke, you flat below me.
He says, he just came in, he said, I just want to say I thought you did a really good job there. Shook me hand and turned around and walked out.
Wow,
Really.
amazing.
But Lulu was on as well. So, and my mate Rupert come with me for the day just to watch what was going off. And all I remember is, I was sat in my dressing room and we're just sat having a fag or something away from a smoke detector. And this thing comes over the thing, Toby Foster to the floor. So I set off running down Oxford Road. Went around this corner. Now I went round that way, Lulu came the other way, and I went straight into it. And I am bigger than Lulu. She flew across this corridor. And you know, like cartoon characters slide down, like Wile E. Coyote slides down. Lulu just slid down like that. And my mate,
Lulu.
my mate, all I heard was Rub going, "That's kill Lulu." And I'm like, "Lulu, are you all right? Talk to me, Lulu." She went, "You're all right, darling. I think you need her on stage." "All right, Lulu." That's how I went. She was fine. I've seen her on telly since.
She's a bit bruised.
Yeah. So no, there was that. I ended up. We did. I was watching Afterlife, the Ricky Gervais thing, which was I thought was great. I was watching that once, and it went off, and I texted him saying, "Oh, that was brilliant. I really enjoyed that." I said, "The only thing that make it better is if I was in it." And he says, he texted me back and went, "Okay, then we'll put it in the next one." And then I got the script through and saw that I was dressed as an 8-year-old girl. And I texted him back. I said, I thought more of a romantic lead. So I did dress as an 8-year-old girl on Afterlife too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Memorable episode.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah. Lots of people saw that.
Yeah, it's quite relevant to the time though, isn't it? A minute.
Yeah.
Defining moments. Defining moments.
Yeah, it was.
Didn't get no backlash then. I thought it were hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a joke, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think one or two people tweeted me. Yeah, I'm not that bothered.
Couple of strongly worded emails.
Yeah.
But that's just like you say. It's like with there's certain things that can't be shown anymore now, just because it's just not worth the backlash, is it?
Only if you're bothered about the backlash.
Well, yeah.
I'm not. I mean, you know, there wasn't much of that.
It's like Ricky says, isn't it? Just because you're offended, it doesn't mean to say you're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything I do. I've had one or two complaints with the comedy club. I said this, I said that. And actually, in some of them, you'll get the email and you go, actually, yeah, that was a bit wrong, that. But what are you going to do is...
I think sometimes it's
a live environment, isn't it? Yeah, it's a live environment.
I mean, you could probably tell that joke 10 times and it might come out differently each time. It's like the context, the way that it's delivered. It's like you might think, oh, actually, that way it sounds a little bit more harsh than the other way.
So I don't worry about stuff like that. If you mean nastiness, then you know you mean nastiness, and you need to have a word with yourself. But I don't.
Yeah, I think it was Frankie Boyle, wasn't it? Said something like, says. People stood in the audience going, "Do you think this comedian on stage at this comedy festival? Do you think he's joking?" You know, it's like,
Well, Frankie's a great case in point. So we've got a comedy club at the City Hall in the little room behind it. And Frankie one night was playing the big room, the 2,000 seater, and he got there. And I went in to see him. I said, "Do us a favour," because he's done it at like 9:30, 10:15. He said, "Do us a big favour." I said, "Once you've done in there, just come and do 10 minutes in my club." Because it'll be great for Instagram. And he says, I can't. And I said, why? He says, the stuff I'm doing now won't work in a small room. And I said, well, what do you mean it won't work in a small room? He said, I'd be too close to the audience. I couldn't say it. Of course you could. What do you mean? And he said, I just couldn't. Oh, fair enough. And then I went to watch his first 10 minutes in the big room. And I thought, Christ, I'm glad I didn't do that in my club. Because it was raw.
well, yeah, because sometimes you get people that come to come to like a comedy. I told you should have had a drink.
Tell you, it's gone. Sorry.
Yeah, you'll get people that nip in for like you say, like a mixture of comedians, but they're not like proper comedy goers. Like the like you find a name and you go and watch it and you know what you're in for, don't you? You pay your money. Whereas some people just turn up and go, oh, we're gonna have a nice time at comedy night, and then you get quite an offensive one, and they're not used to it, are they?
No, you know, it might be if there's a table of 10, 5 of them might not want to come to comedy that night.
Yeah,
You know, it might be a
come along with
works
friends.
night out or something.
Yeah, we go. Oh, we are going for a meal afterwards and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah, no
some
one's
people not
No one's
desensitised.
had to cause, as you said, no one's had to be nasty or cause any offence to anybody intentionally, not at all.
Well,
Not
no,
at
there's
all.
there's like a bit of element of
I
like
think
shock
Frankie
to
tries
comedy.
every now and
sometimes.
Yeah, I'm about people who play the clubs. Yeah.
Frankie's
play the
I mean,
comedy clubs.
I mean, he's not known for holding back, is he?
Probably the least of them.
To be fair, I've done gigs sometimes. I was like, you know, you're there to entertain, but I'll have a bit of a chin wag with people. And sometimes if someone's being a bit problematic, you know, I make them aware that I'm not very happy with them.
Out you go.
But I'm not a comedian, so it's probably a bit different when I do it.
Yeah. No, we're trying not to do that these days.
No, I have seen it. I see it every now and then. But to be fair, sometimes it works in comedians' favours, especially on like a quick, like a reel or a TikTok video or something like that. If there's some outburst or something that's a bit controversial, it gets the traffic to them, doesn't it? You know,
Absolutely.
any publicity is good publicity. So
Yeah.
that's what you need to do for Wentfest. You need to do something that's going to cause an uproar.
In Kilnhurst. I don't think you can shop the people in Kilnhurst.
I leave that to you to sort that bit.
They've got a takeaway called Fatties.
They have.
There's not a lot else you can do in Kilnhurst.
Brilliant.
It's unshockable.
Literally 5 minutes from where we are.
It is. He got to the end of the festival last year, and my daughter says, "Oh, Daddy, I just want a burger." I said, "I think there's a burger place or something." No, there is Fatties.
There used to be one in Sheffield called Chubby's. I used to go there. I used to love
Yeah.
Chubby's.
Yeah. Legendary.
The cheese on that, or the cheese sauce.
Legendary.
Fantastic. Chubbies,
I went on my 30th, and I think I went 3 times in the same night.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I could eat a lot more then, though. Now I'm crying out for Gaviscon just from sniffing a chip.
Things have changed.
I used to love Chubbies. I used to love Chubbies. You've been to Charlie's?
No, you tell me about Charlie's. Yeah.
Do I want to know
It's
what
the
that
one,
is?
It's a kebab shop. It's a fantastic kebab shop down just off Middlewood Road. It's hidden away from me. I'm not telling anybody where it is.
Yeah, because you don't want to be waiting ages for your order, don't you,
Precisely.
if it gets popular.
Precisely.
It's turned into Rate My Takeaway, isn't it? It's top viewing, top listening. people in London listening to people talk about Northern Takeaway.
I don't do kebabs. He says.
He once did a 4-foot kebab.
Oh, no, I forgot about that. Yeah.
We were on sat in the pub, and he says, "There's a place in here, Naheem's at Wath." He says, "They do a 4-foot kebab." I said, "Well, that sounds like." He says, "It can't be 4 foot.
No, we can't. They can't be allowed to sell
They
that.
can't sell a 4-foot
It'd
kebab." I
just
said, "Well,
be, it'd be legal or something like that.
it says 4-foot kebab. It must be 4." He says, "I'm going to order one." And he ordered 2.
See how big they really are.
He ordered 2.
One
He
for
says,
you, one for
He says 4-foot kebab. He ordered 2. I didn't have one. He ordered 2
That's
4-foot
with me and
kebab.
James, actually, yeah.
So we get, that was it, one for James Brandon.
yeah.
So we get to Naheem's in Wath. And when he says, "We ordered these 2 4-foot kebab." They come out with 8-foot of kebab.
You know it's bad when you've got to put your takeaway in the boot
Yeah.
because it doesn't fit in the
Fold
foot.
it.
Doesn't fit in the footwell of the car.
Telling kids,
You
you're
know.
just going to have to walk, sorry.
They've never
I need
sold
that back seat.
They've never sold 2. They never.
As we walked out of Naheem's that night, they put the shutters
Yeah, I'm going to
Shutters came down. Well, we've never had somebody fall for that before.
8-foot kebab.
Proudest moment. So I don't eat much of them since.
He went back
I've
every
still
week.
got some. Still got plenty left. I've still got some in it left.
It's all portioned. Meal prep.
That's how you do meal prep.
Yeah, it's
Sunday afternoon order from Naheem's at Wath.
not a hobby, it's a lifestyle.
That's it. That's it, mate.
So, have you? So you're obviously you're planning on getting everything in order for next year for Wentfest. Is there anything that's kind of locked in that you can tell me about right now, or is it not?
There's
there yet.
Elliot Kennedy is performing with us again, who is the Grammy and Ivan Novello award-winning songwriter and producer from Sheffield. I'm sure you probably know
he's worked with everybody.
He's, Brian Adams, Take That, Aretha Franklin, Mary J. Blige.
Don't mention his Ivan Novello.
He broke his Ivan Novello
I
award.
broke his award.
Smashed it.
He's got a,
Elliot's playing for us next year, which is we're just great, really grateful for.
he's got a studio very much like this. In fact, I think yours is nicer. And I was in it. We were doing something.
We were filming a video for it. We were filming the music video for his
That was
debut single.
And I turned around and I caught this thing with my arse. And it fell off this statue. And it fell off onto the ground.
Statue.
And I went, oh, I've knocked your thing over. And he went, that's me, Ivan Novello.
No, he didn't. He was more gracious than that, to be fair.
No, that was the second time.
Oh,
I wasn't the first.
no, because he went, oh, it's only Ivor.
Is it Ivor? That was
It's
it.
Ivor.
So that's Ivor. Oh, I called you Ivor. Well, put it back up. You know, he turns around with this camera, knocks it off again, smashes it. I went, oh, I've
knocked Ivor over.
I've knocked your Ivor up. And it's my Ivan Novello award.
Song of the year.
You get another one.
You best get your notepad out.
DJ trophies at Wath.
It's like you can't get another
Gets
one.
another one of these.
They're not easy to replicate.
So
He was all right about it.
No, he was great. He's lovely. We love Elliot. He's a good friend, and he's been a big supporter of the festival actually since we started. And he's playing for us next year. Whenever he does a live show, he doesn't do them very often. So when he does, he invites some of the guests that he's worked with. So you never know who he could be turning up with. He's worked with S Club, he's worked with the Spice Girls, he's worked with Take That. You don't know. So he's going to be with us, performing all the hits he's written and produced for people. And we're just literally at the point now, and we were having a conversation in the car on the way here about a possible headliner. So within the next week, we'll have some names out there for the lineup for 2025. We said by September we wanted to have some names out there so people knew who was going to be on. So I can't tell you anything more specific other than then within the next week you will know.
Yeah. That'll be.
And for the comedy, yes, Scott Bennett's booked for the comedy tent. There'll be a couple of others that you've already got booked.
Yeah. I mean, the comedies. That's all booked up. I can't remember who's on, but they're all fab. It's the main stage is the one that you just need to, and it's such a shame really because, like I said, like we said, for us the festival's not about the headline. The festival's about the day,
the experience of the day itself.
People don't want to buy until the nose on, which is it's odd really.
Yeah, it is. And
I mean, if you look at what we did last year, we were 45 quid to see Sky for Girls in Blue. Blue's ticket at the City Hall was 85 quid.
Just to see them, so you almost want to point that out to people as well.
Value.
Look, what we're charging you for the ticket for the full day of the festival, and all these bands is what you'd pay for, and more for just one act at a City Hall or arena.
Just come for that, really. But
so, the other thing we notice as well, certainly more this last couple of years, is people's buying habits have changed, so that they are buying kind of more last minute, and but with an event like this, everybody wants paying up front, so you've kind of got that bridge to gap,
Plus, you get to 6 weeks before, and you're thinking, I hope them people are going to
absolutely.
There's
and we get it,
surge.
totally get it. We understand the times we're living in. We understand what everyone's going through. But it is one of them festivals where you say use it or lose it because it's without the people's support, it can't exist.
You come back to the Oasis gig next year. So, I mean, there's no end of festivals in July. No, small caps, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 caps. There's no end of them. And there will be... people forget about I talk about the influences in terms of people. So, for example, when Tramlines is on in Sheffield for the comedy club, that really hits us. And people say, well, it's a different audience, surely. But the thing is, if there's a group of 6 mates that always go out, and they'll say, well, we've got the comedy club, and they go, we can't that night, because Matt's going out with his missus to Tramlines. So they'll go, okay, well, we'll just go another night. So to them, they've not done anything apart from just change night. To me, they're another that's another table that's not coming that night.
Yeah. 50% of them do it.
Knock on effect.
Just because two or one person's not coming out, 6 ain't coming to me. That happens on 3 or 4 tables, I'm knackered. And I think what can happen next year is, again, this is no criticism of anybody, it's just the way it is. But, if we all go out, and we all normally go to a festival in Rugby, let's say we go, I don't want to name a festival really, but we all go to a festival, but you say, actually, I'm going to Oasis. And you say, well, I'm going to Oasis. And I think, I'm going to Oasis. We'll miss that this year, we'll go next year.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as a decision as that for us.
Yeah.
But for that poor sod who's running that festival, everybody making that decision is bankruptcy.
It's a massive chunk.
It really is.
1 year that he can't run, and that's it done. Yeah.
And nobody's made a decision other than, we'll go next year. Nobody's been nasty.
Yeah.
And that's what these big hoovering up tours do. But like I said, what do you do?
You want Oasis to get back together? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
See, we feel it when like we're smaller acts. If we play during festival season, it hits us massively because everyone's gone to the festival because they think, well, I can see all these massive bands for X amount. You know, usually, like you say, a festival, it's normally good value to the punters, isn't it? Yeah. But a smaller band who's playing like a 300 cap room or something like that, it's like you might have lost a third of your audience. And if you're travelling all around UK, you know, fuel's expensive. Like you're talking about hotels and costly.
Yeah. And that's the problem, you see, because bands, bigger bands, they've cottoned on to this. They're not daft. They're not selling records anymore, so all they're going to make money on now is appearing live. And if they want to appear live in their own tour, then they're bussing PA around, they're bussing people around, they're bussing management around, chefs, all that nonsense. If they just book the festivals, they don't get anything. They turn up, somebody else has put the PA in.
Put it all in.
Somebody else has got the stage management, somebody else is getting the butters ready, somebody else is getting their rider ready. They turn up, knock out 45 minutes, and that's give you 15 grand.
Yeah. And they say it's a shorter set usually, isn't it?
It's a 40-minute set, and it's just... That's what they're doing, and you're seeing these people who just...
touring festivals.
Well, that's what they said. They said, we're on tour, and you look at where they're on tour. It's every hot air balloon and sausage inside the festival that there is. They're playing the Great British Food or whatever, or some car show.
But there's 5,000 to 10,000 people there in front of them, And
they think they're on tour.
It's the same kind of number they'd get in an arena anyway. So, you know.
And they're probably gonna find some new people there as well, aren't they?
Quite possibly as well. Yeah.
A lot of people like they'll just go, oh well, I don't know, so I'm not interested in so and so on main stage. I'll go to that stage. Oh, I never heard of them. Oh, I really like them, and then they end up spending 50 quid on merch, and so they can end up doing really well out of it.
I suppose the thing is, you would hope so, wouldn't you? Because somebody somewhere has got to make some money out of the music industry, and it's pretty knackered at the minute. There's not a lot of people. I mean, venue owners, maybe. I don't know. There's not a lot of people making money out of the music industry.
Certainly not in promotion or sales, you know, not at the minute.
It seems to... all that money, it goes through multiple filters, doesn't it, before it comes down to promoters and artists and stuff like that.
In a way that, I mean, when we talk about this, you see, one of the biggest things for booking the festival that I couldn't believe was I booked comedy. And for 10 years, I booked the Sheffield Comedy Festival, going up north. And if you want a comedian to come and play a room for you now, like any comedian in this country, you'll make one phone call. You'll just phone their management. And you'll say, can I have Dara O'Brien? And Dara O'Brien's manager, like, called Danny. Might be Damon now. I don't know where he is. I don't know. Danny got promoted or whatever. Who knows? But this is what you'll do. You'll speak to people that you know.
It's one person. It's one you know who to ring.
They know what they're talking about. They know
him. Yeah.
And I've done it. I can only say this because I know, because I've booked.
You've done it.
Dara.
Yeah.
So you'll phone them. You say, "Can I have Dara?" And they'll say, "Yes, you can." And they'll say, "Where's he coming?" And you'll say, "Sheffield City Hall. How many seats? 2,000. What's the deal?" You'll tell them the deal. They'll go, "Okay," and that's it.
Yeah.
Music.
Well, no, it's further than that, because then you don't pay him a penny then.
I don't know if that's changed. I mean,
that may have changed, but certainly when we booked him,
they then turn up, do the gig, you wave them good night, and then the next day you speak to the agent and you tell them how much you've got to send them. And you send them a cheque.
That's it, done.
Now, with music, you've got somebody's a booking agent or a manager or a publicist or...
It's a very unregulated industry, you know.
There's a lot of people taking a slice.
Anyone can set up to be an agency, and you know all they're doing is phoning the same agent that you could have phoned if you'd have known who to phone. So it is, you know, before you know it, you could be going through 4 or 5 different agents.
Yeah, because some of the higher ones are not accessible as well. It's really difficult to speak
with
to
their
people.
20% on. So, you know, that quickly can make your bill add up if you don't know what you're doing. You know, it's
everybody's on 20%, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a big learning curve. I'm not, don't get me wrong, the agents we've dealt with have all been 99% lovely, and we still work with them now. We've got great relationships with them. But yeah, you do see that. You just think, you know, you could literally set up Matt Black's agency from here now. If I ring you tomorrow and say, can you get me Beyonce? Yes, you can get me Beyonce. You just ring WMA or whatever it is, and then you just put your money on top.
But Beyonce will be on everybody's website.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, you could list her as your client. There's nothing to stop you doing it.
Now, to be fair, I suppose there still will be websites out there that say I can get you Dara O'Brien. Things like talent agents, speakers agency, stuff like that. But actually, if you want Dara, then you phone off the curb. And everybody knows that.
Yeah.
You know, if you want Al Murray, you phone Avalon. You know, these people, and there'll be one person there that you speak to, and it's just a lot easier.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a very different game.
It's just I don't know. Like I said, the trust may be difficult. I mean, I've worked with them for 20 years, so they know that. But it's just a weird thing.
I think with music as well, there's like certain acts they're particular about. Well, what PA is it? What production it is, and stuff like that. But it's probably because they've had their fingers burnt elsewhere at one point because they turned up somewhere.
I can understand that. I can understand or where they've not got paid. You know, so I
can't believe the agents booked this.
No, I can totally understand.
Just makes it harder for everyone that's doing it right.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah, you've just hit the nail on the head. You know, for people who do it right, it just makes it just that little bit more difficult. But as I say, we do have a great relationship with the agents and the artists that we've worked with. We've never had one bad conversation with an artist or an agent, and touching everything that's wood, and that continues. So yeah,
we're 7 years in.
7 years
still
in.
using the same suppliers that we started with.
Yeah.
In year one.
Yeah.
We've never had an issue.
And here's to next year now. That's the focus from this point onwards. Here's to June next year.
Yeah. Booking the Gallagher brothers.
Yeah. it's Dave and Steve Gallagher from Goldthorpe, but that's fine. It's all right.
Call Frank.
Couple of hands up shameless.
Yeah. That's it. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Oasis.
Yeah. There is one called that.
I thought there might be.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Definitely might be.
So yeah, all good. So hopefully we'll see you there, Matt. Hopefully you'll be with us.
Yeah, defo. It's no, it's nice because you're doing it right. You like you say you're looking after your act. You're obviously listening to people that have attended as well, and like you say, using the same people as you keep going along. So it's like you're building up that trust with them. Yeah, I think you get to a point then where you might be able to just get anything that you want.
Well,
let's hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, the festival itself now does run it. I mean, we turn up on the day and it's all muscle memory now.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's just now about, selling tickets is hard.
Yeah.
Selling tickets is really hard. People have got less cash than they used to have. They're less trusting of events because some of them are really crap. And people have been ripped off. And there's other calls on people's dough. I mean, we just know that to be the case. But we've got a good feeling about next year.
Oh, Lord.
We've got a good feeling before.
Said that now, Kirsty.
It's going to keep building it. It will.
Let's hope so.
Make sure everybody. I'll put the links in the description
Brilliant,
so you guys can.
Thank you for having
get
us.
a little bit of traffic. But before we close, I like to always ask my guests to tell me a little bit of advice that you would give to your younger self. And I love that reaction.
Don't do it
every time.
Don't go to the Grand Prix.
Don't sell that motorhome.
Seriously.
It's a podcast couch. It's not therapy.
I don't know.
Let it go. Let it go.
I know.
You learn from everything.
Do the same. Just do it. Get it done.
Well, we're prime examples of that by the fact we do a festival every year.
Just get it done.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about advice to my younger self because I've got a 20-year-old daughter. And do you know what? It's really interesting because I give her advice and she doesn't take it. She thinks I'm a fucking idiot. because I've never had any great store. She's like wanting to, get herself a proper job and that. And build something solid and decent foundation. And she's got a nice, reliable boyfriend and they've got a house and that. And I'm just like, pack it all in. And go and travel and see stuff and go and get drunk. And
not bothered. I'm just not bothered.
I honestly think that's what you should do. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, if you're happy and you're settled, you've got a nice house and you've got a nice family and that, stick with that. But if you're not,
just get on.
Blue touch paper. Do something else. And so there's loads of stuff. I've definitely lost more money than I've made ever in my life. I could definitely have been a lot better off and had a massive camper van if I had just not made some decisions. And it's the thing that infuriates my wife more than anything else is that I do make some stupid decisions. But if you didn't make the stupid decisions, you won't make the good decisions because you'd just be scared of decisions.
You never know, do you? Until you
no,
set
of
the
course you
puns
don't.
up.
Of course you don't. And, I'll either buy another camper van or I'll find an hotel. You know, you'll do something, won't you? You forget. Maisie's 20. I keep saying it. By the time she retires, what, you're going to have to be 80? By the time she gets there before you get a pension?
Yeah. We're looking at the way things are going.
Who cares what you do when you're 21?
Yeah, get out and
do
get
something
it done.
else. It doesn't matter.
Your job's always going to wait for you, isn't it?
Something's going to get there, isn't it? You know, I'm 55 now. So I was saying this to Nikki last night. 55 now. If you die at 65, people will go, you're only 65. But that's all they'll say. They'll not go, whoa, it's a disaster. They'll think that's a reasonable age to die at.
Yeah.
That's only 10 years away.
Yeah, I mean...
If I've only got 10 Christmases left...
Don't come to that, but, you know...
Of course you're going to hope that.
I love to end podcasts on a good note.
Try not to.
The reason we were talking about it is I found out that Disneyland is open on Christmas Day. So this is how I was trying to talk my wife
to go to Disneyland at Christmas.
On Christmas Day. She didn't want to because her parents might not be here next year. So I was trying to talk her into going to Disneyland on Christmas Day.
Take them with you.
I said, I might die. Let's go to Disneyland. So we're not doing it this year, but I think next year we're going to go to
That's
Disneyland.
going to be the plan, is it? So you've got to at least see it out 2 more Christmases.
This is his new venture. It's like Toby's Make-A-Wish, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll just
I'm driving to Disneyland in a camper van I ain't got.
live to see another Christmas. That's just it.
Disneyland's open Christmas Day. You're not as amazed as
No,
I
I'm
was.
not.
Apparently there's hardly any queues. It's brilliant.
I suppose, actually.
You get on the Splash Mountain straight away. Merry
No
Christmas.
one would know, would they? No one know it's open. So, yeah.
Nikki says, shall we take the kids out?
It's going to be rammed now.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. Cut this bit off. I'm going as far as Christmas.
Unless you've got a camper van you can borrow to go in there.
I'm sure that can. But yeah, so this is that's how I talked to him to go to Disneyland. I convinced her I might die. So what I'm
So that's the
saying,
kind of advice you give. Yeah, exactly.
what I'm essentially saying is nothing matters.
Yeah.
Really, does it? I mean, don't kill anybody, but nothing really matters.
Get your head off.
Yeah, there's a few basic rules, but other than that, do
I
what
wouldn't
you
smoke
want.
again if I could. I'd pack in smoking if I could.
Which you have done now, to be fair.
I've done now.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I've been thinking about dying.
I saw a picture actually of you guys at Wentfest, and I think you were just sat having a minute, and you were lighting a cig. Obviously, must have been a bit of a breeze, and you must have just been scratching your face.
Oh,
It
is
just
that the
looked
one I
like,
said looked like an album cover?
looked like you were beatboxing together.
We genuinely were.
He was scratching back up,
With your 2025 act.
Yeah.
That's
Might get paid then.
It was the day after, because I woke up after that festival in hospital. I mean, that's true.
That's
I was bad after that.
that was probably possibly the last cigarette you smoked, actually, on that picture.
Probably that,
it
last
probably
time,
was,
yeah.
Iconic image.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. I was poorly. I was poorly. It was
Is that from cigarettes?
Well, yeah, just everything. Just living on diesel for 30 years, isn't it? I mean, it's not been a healthy lifestyle.
It's going to catch up. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I woke up COPD, heart failure, all sorts of nonsense. All of which is, you can't pretend to be surprised. Well, I tell you what, I couldn't feign surprise, quite frankly, because I can read the books. I know what you should and shouldn't do. But I got diagnosed with ADHD when I was like 48, and because I got a private diagnosis, I couldn't go on the NHS, so I was getting this medicine from an actual doctor, but it was from the chemist and that. But it's ADHD medicine, which I'd never had, and I don't even know why I bothered getting diagnosed, because we all knew what was going on. But I got it, and it changes you. And it changes you fundamentally. So the first day I took this medicine, we were in Asda, me and my wife, and we'd forgotten something. She went off to find it. Came back, she couldn't find me in the queue. She couldn't see me, because for the first time since we've been together, I wasn't rocking from side to side, because I'd started taking this medicine. And all of a sudden I was sitting down doing 8 hours paperwork, getting VAT returns done, everything. It was completely different to me. But it's amphetamine. I mean, it's just not good for you. And it blew my heart up. I mean, it was just... So I ended up with this bumpy heart thing, which is why I ended up in hospital. And so I woke up after the festival and they went, your heart's gone, you've got COPD, and I don't want to tell you this, but you ain't got a fucking camper van anymore. I was just joking.
And you're going to Disneyland at Christmas.
You'd think somebody would fly me there, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Bloody
It'd be
hell.
a fund, wouldn't you?
We did GoFundMe. So it was really bad. And that was after that festival. And so I was in hospital for about 2 weeks. And just whilst I was there, I just thought, I don't like the sound of this. So I just thought, well, I'm going to get out. And I did it loads of times, like we all have. And when I get out, that's it. I'm not smoking. I'm not doing this, not doing that. But I didn't have a cigarette. Well, since I've never had a cigarette since. I didn't have a drink for a year after that. Just kind of a reset. Came off the stupid medicine. You got ADHD, you haven't, and you not the only one.
Live with it, don't you? Exactly. Yeah.
And just generally just stop worrying about stuff so much, really. And it sounds so much more serious than it is, because everything's, the medicine's incredible. Unless I drop dead, in which case
It's not really done its job that well, has it? So, just get into Disneyland. Are you listening? Disneyland Christmas 2025.
Imagine if I did that. Not sounds that.
Anyway, we've ended this podcast on a very happy note, man. I'm sorry, right?
Yeah, well, there's only you can save it now with your advice to your younger self.
Get out, get it done. I don't think I would. I don't think I'd change anything. You know what I mean? You learn from things, don't you? So it's cliched, I know, but get out, make the mistakes, and learn from them, and just get out, live your life, and enjoy it.
Don't order 2 4-foot kebabs.
Don't order 2, only one. If you're gonna order a 4-foot kebab, just order the one.
Yeah, unless you've got friends, lots of friends. No, awesome. Like I say, guys, check out Wentfest. Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you for having
us
on.
Appreciate it. It's been good fun.
Great setup here, Matt. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
See you soon.